What's going on? Welcome on into today's trade recap, Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. Two trades, it could have been, but we didn't maximize the take profits and we had reversals back on us. And so we were stopped out on the remainder after taking partial profits. So that's the deal. Two winners, though. I'm going to take that. It is the day before CPI and PPI. I'm going to walk away at 10:30 a.m., 10:37 right my time. So what I want to do here is I want to go into each of these trades and dissect what I was looking at going into it. So first things first, it was Tesla at 851 and then Apple at 940. So if I jump over here, and that's our Apple chart, which you'll see more about that in a second. Where is Tesla? Tesla right here. Tesla, I was looking for upside and really over yesterday's highs is what I was looking for. So upside over yesterday's highs, I was going to be very interested in that. I missed a move. If you were to go back to yesterday's video, I missed the move on Tesla and I was not going to miss it this time. So I had a level at this yesterday's highs right just under 275 and we got a nice push up towards 278. If you go to the 5-minute chart, here's where things are a little bit weird. And I really kind of, I don't want to say I missed. I don't know if I don't know how I should have played this. Looking back, I'm trying to think this through and say, what should I do? Should I have more of a systematic approach to profit taking? And I think I do. And I'll explain in a second here. So let's go with the entry point. I take the entry right here on this break. My stop loss is going to be under these lows, which is around 273 right here. Okay. And nice push in our direction. Trade was very good. I'll pull up the contracts and I'll pull up the chart here in a second to show you the replay of how it worked out. But what I want to talk about first was this take profit. So if I were to go back into this trade on TradeZilla and look deeper into it, I'm going to tag this thing really quickly. If I go to tags to system, it was to my system, and setups was essentially a bull flag break to the upside. If you go to the 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, that's what you're looking at, right? 4 hour chart. Now, obviously now it looks a little wonky, right? But you had this big push, consolidation, break the level, right? That's what I'm looking for. Big push, consolidate, stay tight, stay up near those highs, break the level. It did, and then just came right back down below. Is that because of CPI? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to assume and try to, use that to kind of base my trades off of. I'm just going to trade what I see. But maybe that has something to do with it. So we do that. Now, if you were to look in this trade, I was actually up 155 at the peak. Yeah. So we end up making on the trade $55. I was up 155 because I had two contracts, and the contracts were based on my risk management. My max loss I'm looking to lose is $100. So I start there, and then I frame the trade from there. So that's how I play it, and that's it. That's it. So I start taking profits once I have a P&L of 100 plus. So at the time of this take profit, I was up about $100, which means I'm realizing 50. If I'm taking two contracts, I'm realizing 50 of those dollars. If I then put my stop loss back to break even, worst case scenario, it's a $50 day, which is exactly what happened, right? That's how I'm doing it. But I'm looking at like roughly 10%. I think what makes sense based on the contracts I trade, what would make sense for me to do is to have the second take profit at a specified level. On a percentage scale because I trade next Friday contracts no matter what. So this week, Monday through Friday, I'm trading next Friday's contracts. So if I specify that I am going to trade, or I'm looking to take profits at 10+%, and then my next take profit, 25%. I think that's a good spot to be because these contracts from my entry point at around 385, they went up to highs of around 490. And so if you do the math on this, which this chart right here, which I can make it larger, this chart right here is a chart of the option contracts and my entries in the little green arrows and exits on the red. So I get in, it was 385 is where I got in. Okay. So I get in right here. And then we end up having a move all the way up to 490, which if you do the math, I believe that's over 25%. I think 25 is a good spot. So if I see the P&L or if I see the percentage up 25%, that's an immediate lock in the second leg. If I'm in 3 contracts and I've locked one, I lock the second, and then I have one to ride. As the sizing of the portfolio or as the sizing of my positions increases over time, it'll be different in terms of scaling. But I think from just what I have seen, like, yes, there will be very rare occasions where you could get something that goes 100%, right? Just trends all day. But based on my stop losses, based on my win rates and all my numbers that I'm tracking here in TradeZella, when I get a 25%er in my direction, that's something that I almost can't pass up, and I can't. It seems to be hurting me, and then we'll let the numbers tell me as time goes on. It seems to be hurting me when I don't take that, and I'm looking for a little bit more for maybe the next take profit level, which I was looking at based on the chart, which I'll show you kind of my thoughts on that here in a second. So I'm thinking that we look to take 10+% first, then we looked for that 25 as our next take profit. Kind of our look, and we're risking roughly 10%. When I say that, it's again a little bit different. I like to risk $100 per trade because I have kind of solidified into these kind of like next week contracts. As you get towards the end of the week, they could be a bit more volatile. Towards the beginning of the week, they're a little bit less volatile. So it's a little bit of give and take. As the week goes on, the sizing goes down a bit. And then once we get to Monday, Tuesday, we can probably size up a little bit more because the contracts are not going to be as volatile, if you catch what I'm saying. So I think that when we see 25% in our direction, if we have not taken a second take profit, we need to lock that in. And I will let the data tell me to not do that. But as of right now, that would have been a scenario where we would have had, $150 in the green today, or even 125, 135, whatever the number was, versus 55, because we let it come back and stop us out, break even on the second half, which, ends up hurting me. So that was the deal there. And then I want to go to Apple's chart, and I want to pull up the let's pull up the recap or the replay on this. So $28, pretty small size here. I had already had the Tesla trade in my direction. I was late to the party on this one, so I'll show you what I mean by that. But on the big picture charts, let's go to the big picture on Apple. Big picture on Apple, we have been big move down a couple weeks ago or days ago, consolidate, and now a little bit of a lower high, breaking down below some lower lows. This is a classic play to the downside underneath this low, which was yesterday's low, around 177.35. That's when I played it, and it got a nice move, about $1 plus to the downside from there. So I made money on it, but it wasn't great. Kind of the same deal. So let's go to the replay function at the top of the screen, and now what we're going to see is Apple's chart pull up on us, and we're going to have time and sales level 2. We've also are going to have our executions on the left-hand side. I could tag this customly. This is going to be 2 system, and it's going to be a bear flag. Also, not a huge fan that we are playing bullish and bearish trades the same day. What that tells me is that we don't really have a perfectly great trending environment, not a lot of consistency. So again, it tells me to be cautious, be quick to take profits, and not necessarily expect full day trends, right? Again, that can happen. There's no way to know when it's going to happen, but that's the deal. So our entry was at 9:40 a.m. I'm going to move this slider across towards around that 9:30 a.m. I'm going to go to 30x speed here so we can really replay this thing fast. Here's what we're looking at. If I go to the 5-minute chart, what I'm looking at here is probably could have entered this trade based on this break of low of day around 177.80. But I did not. We were looking at that 177.30 area. So it broke this. Now, this is where it broke the low of yesterday on this candle on this 5-minute that's breaking right now. So see how I'm not in yet. I'm not in yet. I get in on this candle. So I got in about 5 minutes late, which is why I played it with about half size that I would normally play. So I was late, but the bigger picture, if I go to look the 30-minute charts that we were looking at before a second ago on TradingView, it still was valid. So that's why I decided to play it. And the stop loss was going to be above this wick right here, which is around 177.80. We did not get there, didn't come really close. So we were in nice profits, I don't want to say fast, but, fairly quickly once the trade began. And then I ended up taking this first profit at 10:25 a.m. So right now you're looking at around 10 a.m. So we still got 25 minutes. So if I pause this and I move this across to about 10, let's go to 10:20 a.m., you can see that we pretty much just consolidate there. Now, this is actually a really good look for continuation to the downside. So if we break below the low of day, this looks to me like, oh, it could be great. But I know Apple. I've traded Apple before. I know Apple can be funny. When Apple does this, it's very possible we get a rejection and a move back in the other direction. I've seen it happen many, many times, going up and down. So this paired up with, I'm going to pull up Bookmap really quick. Paired with Bookmap, I was watching on Bookmap really some decent liquidity on the heat map right under the level that we had. This is the consolidation at that 10 a.m. See this right here? 10 a.m., 10:15. That's that consolidation. There's some pretty big orders stacking up just below 176. I was thinking this could help hold it up. If we have to break through that, if we break through that, good chance we're going down towards 175. We did not break through that. We started to kind of curl and bounce. And so once we did that, that was when in my head, I'm like, okay, let's just be proactive and take profits here on half of it. And if it breaks through, great, we'll take the other half off. If it doesn't, we'll stop out, break even on the rest. This way we don't end up getting screwed and losing. So that was kind of my thought process going into this. You can see that now, boom, I get out there in that consolidation, just seeing us kind of holding this level, seeing liquidity underneath, seeing some potential orders, buyers maybe there. I didn't want to mess with that and didn't want to anticipate the breakdown after already having a decent move in my direction. Then I got stopped out, break even shortly after on the next candle. So that was a pretty decent. And then here are the executions on the left-hand side on the trade replay feature. This is an awesome, absolutely awesome feature on TradeZella. Total time of the trade was 51 minutes and 38 seconds. Not long, not short in my view. It was just okay. It kind of worked, then didn't work. But I'm happy with the green day. It's not bad. And we're green on the month, green on the week. We've got a nice little streak going. If I go back in here, let's see. I think we got a nice little streak going right now on TradeZella. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Let's pull up okay, here's our trade on Apple. Go back into here. All right, there it is. So this week we're up 138. It has been all like not great days. It's been 2 days. Not been great in terms of the trades. Like we've had potential for a lot more, I think. But I think it's kind of the nature of where we're dealing with right now. It's like the market's it's pre-CPI, and maybe there's more of a decision to be made after that and we get better trends. But I'm happy to be green now, as then when we see better trending days, I think we'll be looking good. So that's the update for you guys. Again, links to TradeZella in the description box, like always, below. Any other resources, I got Bookmap there below, TradingView for the charts, all that great stuff in the video description box. Thanks so much, and that is today's trade recap for September 12th. Peace.